In today's video, I'm going to be doing a self-hypnosis process, which is called a breakthrough. And this is going to be very specifically around some things I've been having coming up around physical injuries and basically hurting myself. So one thing to keep in mind is our subconscious mind controls our body, okay? So the reason you don't have to think about your stomach digesting your food or your heart beating blood is because the subconscious is doing in the background. So anytime we get sick, we have physical ailments, we have disease, pain, things like this, think of it as your subconscious mind's way of communicating to you that there's something going on internally, mentally and emotionally that you're not dealing with. So think of it like kind of like the check engine light on the car is coming on. And if you ignore the check engine light, things get worse and worse. So I'll tell you what's going on with me, and then we'll dive into this process. So very strange. The other day I was shaving, and I cut my ear right here. Okay, not a big deal. It's just like a small little cut, right? And so, okay, don't think anything of it. Then, 3 days ago, I'm planting grass in my backyard and some kind of the dry spots, and I hit my head right here on one of our trees. I'm 6'3", the branch is hanging, and I hit my head, scraped it. Then, yesterday or the day before, over the weekend, okay, we were digging up where we have in our backyard, we have this raised up land that our tortoise is in, and we decided to clean it up. We put a house back there and a fence and a whole thing. So I've cut my hand, and I also cut my knuckle here. And then this morning, Monday, I went to the store. I was coming back home. I saw my family pulling out of the driveway. And so I was like, well, I'm going to run up and scare them. And as I was running up to scare them, I slipped on a little branch that was on the sidewalk, and where our sidewalk is kind of slippery. And I scraped my knees, okay? And my toes even. So I got my ear that I cut open, the top of my head I cut open, my fingers, now my knees, and these are all separate incidences, okay? So here's the thing. Most people would just write that off as, oh, it's just a coincidence, just a couple of bad lucks, or little bit of bad luck, or, maybe, being careless or goofy or whatever. And I don't take it as that. I take it as my subconscious is trying to communicate something to me and get me to pay attention to what's going on with me internally. So we're going to dive into why this is happening. I have an idea. I think of what it may be, at least on the surface, not really deep. And in this process, I'm going to give you a warning, okay? Because what you're going to see me go through is essentially what's called our breakthrough process. So this is what we do with clients one-on-one. It's one of our 6 sessions that we do with people. And it's also something that we teach in our certification, so people do it to themselves or to others. And what you're going to see is it's sort of like a filter where we start off on the surface, like an iceberg, where you see this much on the surface, and then underneath that is where everything really is. So I'm going to give you a huge warning, because I posted a video like this the other day and people follow along. You got to be very careful with this stuff, because if you don't know what you're doing, or you're going to go and use this with clients and you haven't been trained on it, just know that you may trigger some memories and emotions with people. And if you don't know what you're doing, it can really mess you or other people up. So I'm just giving you a trigger warning here. If you decide to do that, it's on you, okay? So let's dive into it. So first question is, okay, what's the main problem I'm having? So my body's all cut up. I've got scabs everywhere, as I mentioned already. How do I know I have this problem? Well, I know because my body's cut up. How is that a problem? Well, it's fine. It's not super bad or anything. It is, it's not really a huge problem right now. But again, if this is something I ignore, things that get worse and worse, right? So, yeah. When does this happen specifically? When I'm ungrounded, when I'm rushing, when I've got a lot going on in my head, and I haven't like cut myself up like this in a long time. So yeah, it's usually when I'm just not grounded and present. When do I not have this problem? Mostly every day of my life. I think I think another thing is this kind of stuff will happen when I have like big things on my plate. My eye's starting to twitch right now. Again, subconscious mind is trying to tell me something, so let's figure out what it is. So, when was the first time I had a similar problem like this? Just scraping my body up? Oh my God, man. When I was a kid, I've had so many weird injuries. I'm not even going to go through it all, but so many. I'm thinking what's coming to my mind right now is there's a memory of me playing at school. I scraped up my knee. It was really, really bad. And it was infected. So that's the first time I can remember. This is a long time ago. What emotions were present at the time? I think there was like, I was wanting to have fun, but I was kind of rushing and not really paying attention. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is kind of starting to connect already. So, yeah, as a kid, just kind of running around, no plan, just kind of running around and just doing things without really organizing or having order. What limiting belief were present at the time? In order to have fun, I've got to do like so many things at one time to keep me stimulated and entertained. It's like I gotta just kind of be doing all kinds of different stuff. So how does that event relate to what's going on now? Well, what was funny is with the whole grass thing on Friday, it was something I just was like, I thought about it Thursday. I watched a video online of how to make your grass healthier. I said, okay, I'm going to do this. So I went to Lowe's, I got the stuff, I came home, and I just started doing it. And I really didn't lay out a plan. I just kind of started doing. And then on Saturday, we had no plan to even do this with our backyard, but like we woke up and we're like, God, let's take down the fence. And long story short, one thing led to another. And we just, man, it was a whole weekend project and it was great. But I found myself like I went to, this is good. I went to Lowe's again and I was going to buy this fence to block our dogs from getting into the tortoise area. And while I was there, I didn't measure like anything at home. I just went there and I saw this fence that was about this big. I bought some from Lowe's. They didn't have enough for us to do it. So I went to another Lowe's. I went there. I actually bought it online. I went to another Lowe's. I got there. They said, oh, no, you actually made your order at another Lowe's. So I had to go to another Lowe's and finally got the things. When I brought it home, we stuck it in the ground. And I was like, oh, my God, this is way too short. So how does that relate? So basically, it's like I'm just going in. I'm just doing these things without taking measurements and plans and stuff. So how does that relate to what's going on now in my life? Well, right now we're in the process of negotiating getting a physical training location to have all the time instead of doing our events at like hotels and stuff. And there's there's so much that goes into it. There's a lot of planning and measurements and just things that you really, really have to dial in, because if you make mistakes, it could just end up costing lots and lots of money. We're talking, this building over the next 3 years is going to be probably $1.345 million a decision. So how does this all connect? Okay. So that's just what's coming up for me. So what other events have happened since I was a kid that relate to what's going on now? There was a time where I was sliding down a pole. I looked up, I chipped my tooth, and I ended up losing that tooth later on in a wrestling match. I remember as a kid, I was at my grandparents' and I was jumping back and forth between these two beds. And my aunt was there with her friend, and I had my tongue out. I landed on my chin like this, and I bit my tongue. My tongue was literally hanging all the way down. I walked into the bathroom and just saw blood everywhere. I think I passed out because I don't really remember. I had to get stitches and everything. So how does that relate to what's going on now? It seems like this this sort of sporadic playfulness that can get me cut up. When I was running this morning and I slipped and I scraped my knee, the sporadic playfulness is dangerous. Oh, that's interesting. How does that relate to what's going on now? It's almost like, I'm just going to say whatever is coming. So basically, with this decision that we're getting in this building, it's no longer just like fun and games. Like it's a serious thing that we're doing, and it's going to take everything to another level. At the same time, it's almost like, here's a here. By the way, when I'm yawning, it's all this stuff is starting to come out and clear and clear and clear. So this is what happens a lot. So I feel like part of me wants to make this move because it's structured, it shows professionalism, it just really elevates our company to a whole different level. At the same time, there's another part of me that just wants to play and wants to be loose and wants to have fun. And so the reason I got into hypnosis in the first place is because I enjoy it. It's fun. I just love doing it. And I feel like with this building, it's almost becoming too much of like business and too serious. And I feel like by doing this, I'm almost losing this playful side of me where everything's fun and I enjoy it, rather than business and bills and this and that and plans and things. So it's like I'm feeling a little bit torn between these two parts. Okay, how does my mom relate to this problem? In the last video I mentioned, so I can say this, my mom is more adventurous, fun, free-flowing. She also is disciplined and structured. She's created a good life for herself. At the same time, I think just growing up, we travel a lot. We were very adventurous and had fun, and like, it's just a really cool way of living. So how does that relate to what's going on now? Well, that's the part of me that wants to have fun and be playful and be loose and not feel tied down. Ooh, that's another thing. Oh God, not feeling tied down. How does my dad relate? Well, my dad has lived in the same home he's lived in his whole life. He did the same job for many years, and he just had this very routine, sort of disciplined structure of his life, and didn't really have the adventure and the play and the fun. So I feel like, and this is interesting because it's always a common theme where like part of me wants to be grounded and rooted and structured, and the other part of me just wants to play and go with the flow. And so these two parts are clashing. Part of me wants to have the structure, the discipline, the building and the plans and the this and the that, and there's the other part, oh, this is going to get good, I can already feel it. The other part wants to be fun and creative and adventurous and play. So kind of what's already coming up for me, I'm already starting to see sort of everything I'm doing in a different way, where having this building, I can do both. I can have structure and plans and discipline and hey, this is how everything's laid out. At the same time, having this building will be a new adventure. It will be a way for me to express my creativity, and it will be a way to cultivate fun. So it's not just all about business and structure. It's a way where I can integrate my creativity into a space and really let it show my true personality. And my hands are starting to vibrate, so that means this is good. So okay, keep going. How How do my siblings relate to this problem? Well, my siblings relate. Let's see. How do my siblings relate to me? I cut myself up and everything I'm talking about. I think that hold on. I think that, how do I want to say this? Is like certain siblings have more structure, certain siblings have more fun, so it's almost like I'm seeing it in them, I guess you could say. Is that it? Yeah. How does my childhood relate to this problem? Of all my cuts and the thing, everything I'm talking about. Well, I think that all the cuts and bumps and bruises and breaks, and again, I could go on and on with so many stories, that comes when there's fun and adventure, and living a disciplined structure, driving to the office, and there's no, it's not fun, it's like, I kind of want to have that adventure and the free spiritedness of being able to just go with the flow. And I feel like by having this building, it's another responsibility. It's taking the fun away. So how does that relate to my cuts and everything? Subconscious mind, how does that relate to well, the cuts came from me not planning anything, meaning like I had gloves, but I didn't use them when I was shoveling. I was using them when I was doing something else, and I took them off, and I was like, oh, let me just shovel this, thinking it's just going to be a quick thing, and then, however long, boom, my thing cut. When I'm doing the grass, I hit my head on the tree. When I was running out to go scare my family as they were driving out the back, and I slipped. Like, that's all the fun, and it's like I don't want to lose that fun and adventure. So it's almost like getting into this building is I'm going to lose some of that. So subconscious mind, is there a purpose for this problem of having all these cuts and these injuries? And yes. Is there a reason for the problem? Yes. When did I choose to have this created, and why? So I think that wow, okay. So I subconsciously gave myself all these injuries and stuff so that I would recognize that to not lose the fun, playful, adventurous side of me when I go into this building, meaning don't make it all about business and making money and, all this structure. Yes, that's part of it. At the same time, I've got to also bring the fun, the adventure, the personality, the creativity, and merge those two together so they can work harmoniously. Because too much fun, too much adventure, too much creativity, and not enough discipline, things are going to fall apart. At the same time, too much structure, too much planning, too much of that just business, make money, it loses the fun, and I don't want to do it anymore. So I'm basically, my body's creating these, it's just a signal to me to remember, hey, as you transition into this decision, you don't lose the side of you, the fun, the creativity, the spontaneousness, spontaneity, and to make sure to bring that into this building. Is there anything my subconscious mind wants me to know? Yes, that part of why I've been resisting the building is the logic and the, oh man, and the, how are we gonna get these events going and the trainings, and I just gotta release that and just go with the flow tap into my creativity, into my higher self, into my vision, and allow that to come through in the way that we express the art in the building, in the colors, and the furniture, and just everything. Really make it a fun place to be, not just a place to make money. Thank you. Is there anything I'm not getting, which if I got, that would allow the problem to disappear? Sit down, draw out, and write out my ideas and start brainstorming on all of that, because the building's getting close to where we're just kind of ironing out the last details. And so the structure, the business stuff is like almost getting done. Now it's time to bring in the creativity and the spontaneity and the adventure. So just sit down and really like write things out, look at other office buildings online, get some ideas, get an interior decorator, and really just start to get into the fun of it. How I know this problem has totally disappeared? Well, when my wounds heal up and I'm no longer messing my body up to have fun. What do I need to do that I don't want to do? Let go of the how things are going to happen. How are we going to consistently fill up our trainings? And just know that, as funny as it sounds, this is my dharma. This is what I'm not supposed to, like I have to, but this is what I enjoy doing. And so God and the universe is just going to provide. It's like that movie, that dinosaur movie. The storm provides, just knowing that everything will be provided for me. And don't get caught up in the fear and all that. Just let all that shit go and just know that everything's going to work out. What do I not want to do that I must? Subconscious mind, what do I not want to do that I must? Yeah, it's the same thing. Just let go of the how. Let go of the fear. It's almost like a tiny part of me wants to hold on to the fear to make sure I'm aware and I'm dotting all my I's and crossing all my T's. It's almost like that low level of anxiety of like, hey, we got to make sure we're getting this right, no mistakes. So there's that fear of just making mistakes, and it's just let that fear go and roll with the punches and just let it flow, let it happen. What is it about this problem I can't tell anyone? I mean, yeah, like shit's scary, man. Not just the money aspect. Yeah, it is it's an extra lot, like I said, over $1 million or close to $1.5 million decision, and over the next 3 years or so. So yeah, it is a little scary to make that kind of commitment. What is it about this problem I can't tell anyone? Yeah, it's just a little nerve-wracking. This isn't like buying a house where you're getting a loan for that much. It's like that money's physically coming out of my bank account over time. So it's definitely, up until this point in my life, the biggest financial decision I've ever made. So there's just a little bit of 10-20% worry and fear. So what's the relationship between this problem and problems I have in other areas of my life? Well, I think that ultimately I think I'm talking about the cuts and everything. I think that, yeah, whenever I'm holding on to fear, it shows up. Like I had a knee popping thing that was going on for a while, knee pain, back pain, jaw clicking. Like there's always just little things, and it's all just fear. It's just fear, anxiety, pressure. It's just like, dude, just let it go. And I have let go a lot of it. Now it's just the last little bit. Here's the other thing, is like, man, all the fun things. Like the other day, I was riding my motorcycle in the desert, and I was by myself, miles out in the middle of the desert. And I was ripping on it. I was like getting after it. And I'm not the most skilled motorcycle rider, to tell you that much. And I dropped my bike a couple times, and, you know, and man, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. Even though it's like the fear, everything that's fun in life, not everything, but a lot of things that give me that excitement, that feeling of adrenaline and the fun, the adventure is on the other side of that 10% of fear. Obviously, don't do anything stupid. At the same time, it's like that 10 to 20%. It's like if you're skydiving, you just got to jump. And at this point, I just got to jump. All right. So that was about 20 minutes of going through that process. So that's how you do it. You essentially do it with yourself. Again, this is something we do with clients. By the way, if you enjoyed this, if you could do me a favor, hit the like button. I'd love to get your feedback down below if anything is resonating with you, or if you have questions on this process, I'd love to help you with that. So now I'm going to go through the release process. So my subconscious said it was giving me all these bangs and bruises and cuts because it wants to show me, hey, when I do this next step, don't lose the fun in it, right? So I'm going to dive into the release. So excuse me. Okay, subconscious mind, is it okay to release this limiting decision of giving my body all these cuts and scrapes to remind me to bring the creativity into the workplace and not just get stuck in business and planning and money and, numbers and stuff like that? Is it okay to do that? Absolutely. So what's the root cause of this limiting decision of giving myself scrapes and cuts to remind me to bring in the fun and creativity and adventure into the business? Was it before, during, or after my birth? After. 5 years old. So what I'm seeing is that, being in kindergarten, we're sitting in classrooms all day, and that's the business, right? That's the structure, the discipline. And then it's like when I had the opportunity to go out and play on the playground, that's when I remember having that knee cut. And it's just this way of, that pent up energy causes us to kind of like get a little bit crazy. And, so what I'm learning is that, see myself in third person. Sounds kind of weird, but this makes sense. Plan for adventure. I know adventure and like plan for spontaneity, meaning saying, hey, this weekend I'm going to do something spontaneous. I don't know what it is, but I'll know whenever it happens. So although it's kind of not spontaneous, it is, because there is the spontaneity in whatever it is I'm going to do. And so it's a balance of planning adventure, planning creativity, planning fun, not letting it just be like something that I use to distract myself because I'm like, oh my God, I'm in class all day. I need to let this energy out and then go and scrape myself up. So it's like plan the adventure, plan the fun, and my body will be fine. At the same time, plan the creativity in the structure, right? So instead of letting the creativity, and the creativity will naturally come out, sit and write it out, plan the creativity, and also plan the adventure. Do you see how isn't that, wow, that's so profound, because I was thinking that they were separate. One was, it's only adventure, it's only business, it's only business, it's only planning, or it's only adventure, it's only fun, it's only spontaneity. But really, they're both intertwined, meaning I can plan my adventure, I can plan my spontaneity, I can plan my creativity. It doesn't just have to all be in the moment. At the same time, I can also plan for having creativity in the discipline, in the structure. So I see myself now having fun on the playground and not scraping my body up and like having all these injuries, and just seeing it and allowing me to actually play even more because my body isn't broken down. Anything else I could learn from this? I can do anything I put my mind to. I've done it so many times. And when the fear comes up, just remember that all those times that I was afraid and I just did it anyways. Like, I just figure it out. I always figure it out. I always find a way. And this building, this training facility, it's going to be the exact same thing. I always figure it out. I always find a way, and just trust that it's going to happen. Everything's going to work out. Yeah, there's going to be challenges and obstacles, and I'm okay with that. I'm embracing the fact that there will be challenges and obstacles. I'm seeing everything as an opportunity. What I'm seeing this is an empty blank canvas, and this is my opportunity to create a masterpiece. So thank you for learning, stored learnings. All right, I'm gonna let go of all the events. Give me a second. So now what's happening is I let go of that event when I was 5. Now I'm gonna let go of all the other events that kind of create this. I'm gonna make my way back throughout my lifetime, all the way back to now, only as quickly as I can let go of all the events. It caused me to have like injuries and all that to force creativity and fun and adventure into the boring, mundane discipline. So release all the events all the way back to now. Just come across each event, see myself in the events, preserve the positive lessons. All the way back to now. My eyes twitching. So what's happening now, I'm just seeing a highlight reel of all these moments in my life. Oh man, that's a funny memory. Hit the like button if you want me to tell you that memory. Maybe I will right after this. Yeah, all my injuries came during just having fun or getting into trouble. So, there you have it. And here's the lesson. Listen, anytime, this goes beyond just physical injuries. You know, this is where you get, as you can see, the physical scraping my body had nothing to do with that. It was about business. It's about this next decision I'm going to make. And what you'll find, and I've seen this with over and over again with so many business owners and people that are just going through these different things, is you hit these different ceilings and these roadblocks, and you think that you need to work harder and push through, and you have to force it. It doesn't have to be forced. If you know how to get in tune with your subconscious and remove those blocks, you don't have to keep hitting your head against the same wall over and over again. And this is what I see so many people go through. It's like you have these things that are showing up in your life. Maybe it's your physical body, maybe it's your things that are happening externally, and you don't realize that it's something going on within you that's showing up into your physical reality. So when you can start getting in tune with yourself, learning these principles that you are creating these things that are showing up, whether physically or externally, then you can begin to identify them and let them go as they come up, rather than having them get stuck. If I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have seen the ability to merge creativity and structure at the same time. I would have thought it was a separate thing, and that could have sabotaged me from me being able to make this deal happen. So I encourage you guys all to do that. And again, if you have comments, leave them below. Like the video if you like it. And listen, if this is something where you're like, man, I would really love to go through that process, or I would really love to learn that process, there's a link down in the description for you to book an assessment with our team, where we do a little bit of a deeper dive. Obviously, we're not going to go through this process. That's something that we do when clients sign up with us, but it'll give you a better understanding of what's going on internally, whether it's your relationships, your health, your finances. And again, when you can understand, I mean, you saw me do it live. You saw me do it right here. And this is what we do every day. So if you're looking for help, hit the link down in the description. We'll see you guys in the next video.